All right, shalom, shalom. All right, so I'm back in the live with the StreamYard. Got it fixed. I probably have to do this again, but I had to do a few things to, open up this port where I'm able to do it. So, water Yahweh for that. Ship Yahweh Shai, Shuma Kakadash. But anyway, giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Kakadash. Kala Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Kakadash. Barakatah Yahweh Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishop, great millstone, one salutations to the brothers teaching word for the whole elect, soon to be the elect, most high will. And we hope that be that sooner than later. And to the extended for our light affliction, Shalom. To the extended hopeful elect, Shalom and blessings. And so I'm gonna just call this wiser than a serpent. Just go with the spirit, always pray and hope. It's edifying before I do the lesson. So, it's called wiser than a serpent. And GMS is not about bribes and not about quarter personality. So we just go by the spirit and we stay up on things concerning the spirit. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and within Israel, in camps, apostles have been talking about spies and agents and so forth, man, which is very important, and understand, the environment, what you might enter, like your job or something, or whenever you go out, I'll go ahead and get this first scripture. It says, why is it in the Serpent, King James Version? So, Matthew 10 and 16, Yahushua said this himself. Shalom. Bon Makala Shalom Yahabashma Shabashma Kakadash. Yeah, brother's not here. He's in doing work and all that. So, Matthew 10 and 16. Get that. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves, man. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men, they will deliver you into the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for testimony against them and the Gentiles. And it goes on, but when they deliver you up, take no thought of how or what you should answer, for it shall be given to you in the name, in the same hour which ye shall speak. And that's when the Holy Spirit is dealing with you. So you won't have to worry about what to say, Or it says in the scripture right here, for it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, They don't understand that's how the Most High speaks through his prophets, and it tells you that through the scriptures, tell you that in Luke, But we're living in very deceptive times. We're living in AI time. We're living in, extreme things that that's plotted from the government, you know, especially against us because we know the truth, and especially because of the prophecies that come out of our mouth, which the Most High has told us to speak about anyway. Um, so it says, um, as the serpent beguiled Eve, King James Version. 2 Corinthians 11:3. It says, but I fear, let's see, and I'll read it from first. Would to God, 2 Corinthians 11:1. Would to God ye could bear with me a little in my folly, and indeed bear with me, for I am jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Yahweh Shai. You know, and it talks about, you know, a little bit about that, those 5 virgins that were waiting on Yahweh Shai and kept their oil in their lamps, you know, and waited on their Lord to come back. While the other 5 virgins, you know, went away to buy and all that, it come in the form of sleeping, or, you know, spiritually sleeping, you know. Um, and that's what we're supposed to be, presenting ourselves as a chaste virgin, Yahweh Shai. Not mixing the doctrine, not following other philosophies, not following other gods, you know. It says, but I fear lest by any means as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, man. So your minds should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Yahweh Shai, you know. And this truth is pretty simple. Of course, it got dark sayings, parables, and mysteries given into the. But when you're into this truth and the Holy Spirit dealing with you, it's, you know, it's simple. You know, do the work to your best of your ability. Follow order. You know, um, you know, don't make friendship with the world. You know, work on yourself, examine yourself, keep the faith, have hope, wait to Most High raise up to pray. You know, we know those things, man. But we, you know, of course, we got to practice those things. It says rehearse the righteous acts. You know, um, so how did Adam fall through Eve, hearkening to his wife, hearkening to the woman? The serpent beguiled Eve, and he worked on Eve. You know, and of course, we ain't with that Christian philosophy BS. It wasn't no snake in the garden. It wasn't no apple that Eve bit. We know that, you know, and you should know, because that doesn't even make any sense. It's not even logical. Yet they talk about, you know, when we speak, they talk about, well, everything's parabolic. But when you talk about, well, that wasn't the fruit wasn't an apple. They were like, well, yeah, it was literally an apple and shit. You know, that was literally a snake. Well, y'all was the ones that been talking parabolic, or, you know, things pertaining to the heavens only. And when it come to that, y'all be like, yeah, it was literally the hell out of here. It says, so we'll have to get that right quick. Just to, and the serpent said to the woman, King James Version, Genesis 3:1. It says, now the serpent was more subtle, and there go that subtlety. And sub means under, like shalom, peace the word in season. Shalom, Yahbashima Shai Bashima Kakadash. You know, serpent, which is it could be a wise, crafty person or people. This Esau is a serpent, you know. Subtle, when you sub, it's under, like undercover towel is like a covering. So you undercover, or you just like agents and spies like that, or when it says in the scripture that he cometh as a lion crouching down, as you know, as or when you submit to somebody, you under them. So the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord powers had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath the Most High said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree that which is in the midst of the garden, Most High said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. Allah, how you, because there's counsel in the heavens too, you know. That's a counsel with angels. It's order in heaven too. Remember, it said Yahweh Shai was made lower than the angels, his brethren. So he was the first Adam and the last Adam, as is written in Corinthians. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden. So, uh, you know, God, I'm reading verbatim right there. God had said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said to the woman, Ye shall not surely die. Not only did he say that, you know, it's kind of like this what the serpent's going to do with the MOTB. Hey, you ain't gonna, don't believe that biblical stuff. What I'm saying, this is for sure safe. It doesn't create no grievous sore. You know, it doesn't. There's no harm putting this in your body. You know how they do with everything. Like if somebody's a pill popper, even in medicine, they have on a prescription bottle like if don't consume this more than this many, at a time, or this amount at a time, or they might have another kind of substance bottle, whatever, and say, no, this is not edible, or this should not be consumed. But they're going to make the MOTB sound all right too, right? So they're going to try to, and they're going to exercise a lot of that through these women. Best believe they're going to be, a lot of these women are going to be set up at these stations and stuff that's going to be a part of this new world order. Best believe they did with the welfare system. They did it with probation, the court system with probation officers and that type of thing. They do it with the nursing, the doctor, and in the medical field with nursing, with uh, just giving prescriptions, you know. So and the serpent said to the woman, "You shall not surely die, but God do know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil." You know, and what a hell of a philosophy to offer somebody that could feel or begin to feel like, hey, there's something more. You know, the AI programming of this world that's being introduced to this world is so-called opening up the minds of people, you know, to have them view the world differently and more, maybe an escape device to where they don't have to live in this bitter ass world in America. That's what they say. That's what they'll offer you. They already have the virtual reality stuff, and this is like, you know, you hook yourself up to virtual reality. Some people can't handle it mentally, but if you're on that type of trip, they could stay on that all day, just like a kid on the video game all day. They don't go outside and you know see the natural things no more. They all into this digital it's becoming reality, you know. And so it says, but going back, knowing good and evil, because we had to know evil to know the difference between evil and good. You got to know both sides. That's what a God is. But there's different levels of Godship too. You know, Most High being the Most High, Yahweh, then His Son Yahweh Shai being His Son. You know, and other gods like unto the saints, the men's like King David. You know, and the angels, they're gods, Allahayim. So Esau, right now in the flesh, has exercised himself as a god. You know, Trump, he's exercised himself as a king. He's the king of Babylon, like Apostle Paul just made a video. You know, thank the Lord for making DJ Trump king of Babylon. You know, and of course we know about reincarnation, and that's very real. Reincarnation is very real. If you don't believe in reincarnation, then you don't believe that you're gonna go to heaven in the next realm, because that means you're gonna believe in this bullshit that Esau be pumping. Like, you're not accountable for what you do on Earth. You just fly away and dissipate into a mist, and that's not biblical. That's not biblical. That's not logical. So you got to be careful what you consume. In this world, you got to be wise enough to what you consume. Like Solomon said, he know the difference between wild beasts and big beasts. Are not wild. He know the difference between the plants. Some are poisonous, some are not. Some people are corrupted in the spirit, and others are not. Some people just have mediocre, all right spirits. They just, they don't get involved with nothing. They just, you know, they're not so bad, but there is a good and the evil. There's no in between. People that are, they gotta, they feel like they have done things to, and then they say, well, I gotta fix myself. They want to fix themselves completely. They don't want to go back into that old man, go back into that old world. They want to be, to where perfect if they could. So it ain't no in between, man. It's like the in between is straddling between the evil and the good, and you get fucked up like that. Just like a drug user finally gets off drugs, but he every now and he dib and dab, and then he get caught in those same situations, the same predicaments that he did when he was on drugs. Well, that's where it'll get you. You got to be all the way like, yeah, I'm finished with that shit. But that's why Paul was wise, because he said, it's no longer me, it's the sin that dwelleth in me. Because that's, the devil wants to make you think it's you, so that you could be all bitter and down in your sins, and I can't make it, and damn, man, I can't be perfect. I'll just blow my brains out. Well, no, there's such thing as fighting and doing things best to your ability. Most High, Yahweh Shai is the finisher of our faith. So, no matter how grimy it looks, you got to keep on, striving for perfection. Even though we can't be perfected in these bodies, but it's the fight that's what matters. So it says, it says, for God, verse 5, for God doeth know, and the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods. And when the woman saw the tree was good for food, because food, when you eat of anything in this world, philosophies, that's eating. You feeding your spirit. That's you feeding your spirit, man. Somebody, you go into this church. That's why a lot of people can't get that Sage boys yet out of their mind, because that's what they've been fed. That's all. You'll see, even physically, you'll see. Sometimes people be like, "Well, I've been eating pork all my life." shit, I'm gonna just keep eating. And that's what they say about the same thing on the spiritual side with these churches. Well, I've been believing in this Jesus all my life, so but that don't mean you should keep doing it, because when you find out that it's bad for you, you stop eating the shit. When you find out it's killing people, you got some people that smoke cigarettes. It'll say right on the cigarette package, this causes cancer and death. And then when they get too close to death, they want you to be like hoorah. I mean, they want you to be all sorrowed out for their sickness. And then they learn of the doctors like, well, what is this going on? Well, yeah, smoking them cigarettes, this is what it causes. And like, damn, we told her not, and told him or her to quit smoking cigarettes. Quit drinking so much. You know. So a lot of our people know, but they don't do. And that's what it says in the scriptures too. They say it with their mouth because they know, and they don't do it. And that's where the devil, you know, he shadow he boxes with Jake on the daily. Jake don't even know he's getting beat up by the day. You know, I mean, spiritually, a lot of us look like crap, man. You know, I'm talking about myself too, because Most High said our righteousness is filthy rags. You know, yeah, yeah. It's Jeremiah 4:22. Preach the word in season out of season. For my people is foolish, like for my people is foolish. Yeah, because what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to be a wise man. You're not supposed to be a fool. And you could go on YouTube, TikTok, and see all kind of foolishness our people says dignity is dignity. Folly is set in great dignity. And folly comes from foolish. Those are the same words. It says they have not known me. They are sottish children. They have no understanding. And who is when you have no understanding, you remain in congregation of the dead. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they know not. See? So there's a different wisdom. They know they're wise to do evil. And the serpent encourages that. Because what they say, even with these elite kind of people, it says, and the wicked people of the earth, it says they encourage themselves in the evil matter. And then when you have certain circumstances that you used to have in the world, you have a bad influence of a cousin or brother, whatever, they be like, they encourage you to be like, yeah, come on, let's do this, let's do this. You know? You're like, nah, I don't think that's cool, man. Like, and then they almost want to beat you up for not doing some stupid ass shit. You know? Foolish ass people. So Most High is like, so going back, it says, verse 6, and the woman saw that the tree was good for food and it was pleasant to the eyes. And that's kind of the thought of these women. It's a representation of Israel as a woman itself, because pleasant to the eyes is like, that's what America is to Israel right now. Pleasant to the eye. Man, you know, let's go here. Let's take our children to Disneyland. Let's go shopping at the mall. Let's hang out at the club. Let's drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, liquor store opens 2 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, Saturday night. Shit, I've been working all day. We can have some fun. House parties and all that, you know? So this is a big ass playground to our people, America. But it's still a bitter ass place because you can't have enough fun, you know? You can't have enough fun in this place. You're off to work again, you know? And then you try to, Jake on the left hand side, on the 2/3 side, he try to fix himself through these churches. And the churches don't really they don't have a constructive uh, way of teaching, you know, truly guiding our people with the spirit that they need to, uh, with the fruit that they need to eat from to have the right spirit. So they'd be like, man, fuck church. and that's good, but that's all they got, and then they back into the streets, you know, going to jail like that. It says, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, man. See, there you go. So our people, even though they foolish, they still like be on the trip. You already know, like even when Jay get high and shit, he always talking about, yeah, like putting some shit together that don't make sense and shit. But it sounds like logic to him, you know. These teachers in the school, they didn't question any curriculums of the school education school system, because it's like this is what I got to do to make money, but it makes sense for my life because this is what I enjoy to do, whether it's producing music, whether it's playing ball or whatever. There's still a teaching method to all of these, even though it's a physical. It's still a teaching method. You know, it's still a rehearsal to all this stuff. So they get into the grind of that, and they build their work ethics up with that you know, same field, and that's how they make their money, and they really can't depart with it when even if you suggest that, hey, this is the truth, like this is what's really going on, and you're like, yeah, I'm already, what I'm saying. So you gotta be careful with what you eat from and how long you eat. You know what I'm saying? You can eat some, you eat from something long enough, you know, you're gonna eventually uh, eat yourself to death. You know, if it's bad for you. You know, like I said, you could smoke cigarette. Somebody could smoke cigarettes for 40, 50 years, and then finally it catches up with them. So they were happy, having fun. You know what I'm saying? Going to parties, late nights. You know, filling out their pleasure. And it caught up with them. So that's kind of what is most high showing here. Like, yeah, eventually you'll eventually you'll fall into the most base place. I mean, in most base uh, uh, situation or condition. You know, we saw that with music. It got worse and worse and worse, and it's still getting worse. So it said the tree to be desired to make one wise. She took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. You know, so like I said, that it kind of has a purpose to it, like the Apple, Apple computers, and then the logo is the uh, I'll show you Apple computer logo. And we know it's not an apple, but you know, it has as somebody biting, have bitten out of it. But how is this? Why am I bringing this up? Because computers, which is AI, which is how the Illuminati feeds our people with digital perspectives, you know, video games, TV, you know, big screen monitors, whether it's playing inside of a mall, inside of a school, you know, these the cell phones, you know. So dealing with philosophy, which is meaning wisdom, but it's a certain kind of wisdom, you know, you're supposed to follow. That's why it says be wiser than the serpent. Uh, be wise, King James Version. And the reason I'm saying this too, because some men, those men that have crept unawares, some men that have crept in the camps, you know, particularly GMS, they have the mind of a serpent, you know. Proverbs 13:20, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise. Proverbs 27:11, my son, be wise and make my heart glad that I may answer him that reproaches. You know, that's the thing too. You know, the serpent, and it says that too. Most I will not get that scripted. Satan comes to try to sift us. And what did it say? Be wiser than the serpent. You know? So he has tactics, but we've given we've been given knowledge, wisdom, understanding of the Bible. We've been given teachers. We've been given, you know, rubies, so to speak, of the and gems and jewels of this word. You know, to keep ourselves protected from devils. You know, because I'm gonna say example right quick. Like, let's say you do have a Michael Myers out there. Uh, you know, even though he seemed to be a fictional character, he's based on a real person. Pretty sure, along with Jason and all that. We have people like Ted Bundy, Jim Jones, um, you know, David Koresh, you know, the Zodiac Killer. I forget his name, but all these have a similar thing in common, man. They target the simple, you know. They don't want no, you know, real troublesome person to deal with, you know. You know, I'm talking about these people that dwell among society, man. I mean, come on, man. Ted Bundy wasn't no celebrity and nothing. Nobody knew about him until they brought out what he did. But he was just a man, as far as what I've read of him, he was just a man that went to work, but he was doing that shit on this, you know, or he was just a common man, so to speak. I mean, I'm just saying, when it comes to having friends or somebody at the office or something. So, but he gonna target the simple and the weak-minded more so than he would, you know, somebody that look like they know what's going on, you know. So it says, I'm just reading a few wisdom scriptures. Proverbs 3:7, it says, be not wise in thine own eyes, fear the Lord and depart from evil. See? So if you're wise in your own eyes, you're gonna go the wrong way. And you're gonna conjure up some thoughts and shit that's not right. Because it says there's a man that think he do right, but that think he do right or seem that he's going right, which are and ways to death, you know. So that's why you said gotta humble yourself as a child too, because you know you be like, I know, I already know that, but your experience it ain't there, you know. When somebody tell you, look, I've been in that road, man, don't even go down there, but you go anyway, and then you get caught up. You be like, you didn't listen, you didn't listen to wisdom, you know. Wisdom come from experience, you know. And if you don't have enough of it, you know, then you have to, you know, be guided by someone that has more wisdom until you get fully into wisdom to where you can keep grounded and maintain as a man with wisdom. You know, it says here's another one, Proverbs 11. For wisdom is better than rubies. I think that's uh, and we said this before. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like when you wise, like Holy Spirit is dealing with you. You know, I'll get that scripture. The Holy Spirit it help you discern what is good and evil. You know, Proverbs 8 and 11. It says, "For wisdom is better than rubies, and all things that may be desired are not to be compared with it." So what did Eve do? She desired a tree to be desired. So she wasn't using wisdom. Most High didn't depart her with wisdom, you know. But Adam was supposed to be wiser than the serpent and separate Eve from him, from hearkening to the serpent to be like, you know. But the Most High, it was the creature was subject to vanity, you know. And we had to know basically a more profound understanding of what order is, which is the woman's below the man, not equal. You know, a lot of men have died listening to women, got caught up in some crossfires listening to women, and women are more. It can be more irate and emotional. So when they explain a situation to you about somebody that's troubling them, it's usually had not gone that way the way she's explaining it. She just wanted to hype you up to go do something about it, which is not always the case. That should be acted on, or especially in the manner which how she's telling you, like go get him, because it's a way a man could talk with another man, you know, and resolve a problem without death, violence. And Jake hadn't learned that way yet, and more so how he's getting taught and raised, he's learning the very opposite. Fuck what everybody gotta say. Fuck what this nigga gotta say. I don't care if it's wisdom. Hell with this motherfucker. You know? So, uh, so what was Eve supposed to do? Flee from the serpent, King James version. Flee from sin. Sirach and Apocrypha 21 and 2. It says, "Flee from sin as from the face of a serpent." You're supposed to run, flee, get out of it. Because he even tells you about a man dealing with a wicked woman. It says he said it says the righteous man shall escape from her. Like run the opposite way. You know, like apostles always talk about. You see the black woman, go the opposite way, cross the street. You know, she brings death around. You know, she brings confusion around. And there should be counsel when every every standard of using wisdom, there should be counsel, because it says, "There's no counsel the people fall." There's no counsel in the hoods, ghettos. No, you know, people go. People. The only time Jake really see a counselor is when he's married to the black woman, and he's like, "Damn, we gotta go see the counselor, baby. We gotta go see a therapist." And usually, the way the counselors work now in this American system, they're only for your money, and they say the same shit from one person to the other, and everybody got a different situation. So their best interest is not, you know, telling you, really how to solve your situation. Some of them like into their profession, and they love their job, but yeah, you got to really get into the matrix and basically go down the rabbit hole to find out like what the fuck is going on, to where you like, oh, okay, now I know I ain't supposed to be shit. We ain't supposed to be touching that. We ain't supposed to be going there. We ain't supposed to be doing this. In like manner with brethren, our spirits, and how we interact and converse, you know, uh, you know, it feels that. And if it doesn't, then something's wrong, man. And like it says, if your brother trespass against you, take it to him alone, and then take it to another brother or another witness, and then if not, take it to the church. And if he don't listen to the church, then count him as a heathen. So Bond, good name was Arthur Leon Allen, a former elementary school teacher, convicted of sex. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, this tally includes victims in Southern California, such as Cherie Joe Bates, who was murdered in Riverside in 1966. Despite many theories about the Zodiac's identity, the only suspect authorities ever named was Arthur Lee Allen, a former elementary school teacher, convicted sex offender, died in 1992. Well, kind of glad you brought that information, because you have children in school that's learning about so-called education, but when it comes to a predator in a school, such as the teacher himself, they're gonna get bamboozled by that teacher and led into, a fucking damn. Gotta work this camera, man. Janky ass inventions that fucking, I know it's probably Moab and shit. But if you don't teach your children proper wisdom, then they're gonna be a victim of those stories. Teachers, pastors, you know what I'm saying? Especially your son, he's supposed to be like, nah, that dude's acting weird, man. That dude acting weird, pops. Be like, well, I'm gonna transfer you to another school. You know? Well, you tell him, son, if he do any kind of thing, like he's acting kind of crazy, or he look at you funny, let me know. You know? Because there's some creepy ass, weird ass people in America. That's who America brought up. Weird, creepy people and shit. You know? And Jake, surprisingly, not so surprisingly now, but Jake wasn't on really no weird ass shit, no extreme weird ass shit, not how it's publicized today. Like, damn, Jake actually did that. Jake actually eating that. Jake actually, and you thank the Most High, like, man, you don't be like, well, like you all bougie, but you thank the Most High because you know that shit is weird. You know that shit ain't right, man. And we all weird in our own way and shit, but you know what I'm talking about, man. Brother got different spirits. They got a different way they was raised and shit. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this weird ass American fuck shit, man. Because that behind all these curtains and shit, you know, these devils do the same thing, you know, with the that P Diddy shit. That's them. They just use him as a face. That's what they love doing. The scientists love, you know, they bullshit that they we have the mad scientists they having brains in jars, genitals in jars, sperm banks and sperm in jars and shit and you know like Sirach 20:2 flee from sin as from the face of a serpent. For if thou comest too near it, it will bite thee. Let me get that also. Thereof are as the teeth of a lion slaying the souls of men, man. What they want you? What is Jake is doing selling his soul? What do they want your soul? I think Rockefeller said that he want the soul to put your soul into a damn robot, man. And then a wise man of the Most High said, "Nah, that's going on." Just like everything else in this American system is going on, because they act like this Bible is like you know in some warped up mental dysfunctional shit, and this is the most normal logical thing on earth, man. Ted Bundy, he all these motherfuckers like that Zodiac killer and all the motherfuckers. I'm pretty sure they probably went to church at a time, but they wasn't no God fearing people. If they were, they wouldn't did that shit. They wouldn't have done that shit. Now, in the case of like war and somebody taking over your land, and you be like, we gotta just start slaughtering these people because they're taking over our land, they raping our babies and women and all that. Then you you'll slaughter. They'll call you a madman, but that's more justifiable. It's more of an act of defense. So, uh, so that's what Eve should have done. She should have flee from the sin, flee from the serpent. You know. Now sin has taken the toll or to control and led many men, women, and families to death. So you might say, well, yeah, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and eat swine, and you might be eating swine for 40 years, 50 years. You might not even you might die of old age or whatever. Um, it's unlikely. I'm thinking it's unlikely. But if you do, was it still right? I mean, it was still against the Most High, and it was accounted for your actions and your behavior, or knowing that you wasn't supposed to do that. You know, it's almost like the Most High put it in the mind what not to do before he just, you know, for the creature was subject to vanity. It was already Most High put it in them to really understand. Yeah, this is what you're not supposed to do. You know, so that means when you do it and you fall, then you're definitely gonna learn from it. It's definitely a learning thing, and that's what you're supposed to do. If you're not learning it, then you're not growing, and if you're not growing, you're gonna become corrupted. or you're going to become a corrupt man. You're going to become a man of evil thoughts, man. It says Proverbs 8:33, hear instruction and be wise and refuse it not. In the case of my father, I had to listen to him when I was a little kid, and I had to, but I couldn't, because I feared him in that way. So I couldn't just leave and say, yeah, you know what? I don't want to listen to shit. So I had to stay there and listen to him for like 4 or 5 hours till I was just like leaning over the, couch, and he's like, well, go ahead and go to sleep. You know? But of course, you grow up in America, and you niggered out and shit, and according to America, America's, hey, you know. I remember Apostle one time called naughty America. She's being naughty. She don't. They don't abide with no instruction, even though they give instruction. Military, school, they don't do the shit. They don't abide. It's just a system that they work by. But they don't get. You don't get none out of America. You don't get no true instruction, guidance in fucking America. Why you think Jake is out there on the streets hanging out and doing shit? Well, the curses, but I'm just saying one of the reasons too, there ain't no real teaching methods in America. There's no real constructive, uh, you know, methods really teaching and really having you to learn what you're supposed to be learning for your soul's sake, for your growing up to be of of great character, of some moral conduct. They don't offer that. They don't teach you that. And that's why you got these fuckboy Edomites, driving up and down the street with their fast cars that their parents had bought them that they never had to work for. 20, 30 years old, still living with their parents, wondering why it's what they think is niggas on the street. But if they were wise, they would know that those are prophets, dumbass. But they liken to women because Most High didn't depart her with wisdom. Why do you think Donald Trump and all these congressmen have the ability to, be of some, construct to where they're able to influence the masses from a high seat like that? Because they have somewhat wisdom on the left hand side. Because they're still doing the fuck boy shit. They're still, doing the sodomy shit. They're still, you know, but they're wise though. I'm like, damn, I'm looking at these strong minded so-called army men, and they with the green uniforms and all that, and they ready to go in and take charge and put people down that disobey the law and all that. But they're working for the government, which is based on allowing sodomites and adultery and all this foolery to happen, man. I mean, if this was really a war country, foolery wouldn't be happening, man. They wouldn't have no. They would, they would be in the ghettos like, hey, you know, you gotta join the army, or you gotta do this way. We, get off them fucking drugs. They wouldn't allow planes to come in and drop drugs over here. They wouldn't allow Negroes to sell drugs or to become drug dealers or crackheads or drug abusers. There's a way to clean up things real quick. America does it every day. They drop bombs on people and people get in order. They don't do that with our people when it comes to, any kind of rehabilitation, any kind of constructive way to teach, where you can become a better person. So, uh, uh, Proverbs 9, wisdom hath builded her house. She had hewn out her 7 pillars. Completion of pillars, she had killed her beasts. She had mingled her wine. She had also furnished her table. Meaning taking care of your business according to how you're supposed to with the wisdom you've been given. Because really, hey, you like if let's say a child is like 10 years old, becoming a young man or a young woman in the shortcoming years, and they know how to converse with people, they know how to talk to people, they know how to present themselves. But if you send them out there in the world alone, they wouldn't know what to do. They'd be on the streets. Because why? Because they have no experience. And there's certain things that they wouldn't do because of, the means of strength, you know? So those physical dynamics play a part too. You're growing up, getting wiser, getting better at things. You can't, you know, but that should be starting early in the households, like apostles say. A 12-year-old should be able to whoop like a grown man's ass, a couple of grown men's ass, or and even be you and be wiser than a lot of the people that he run into on a daily basis. Half of these women that grow up, if they did stay with their fathers, or if they did have wisdom or listen to their father, pretty much they wouldn't have gotten, a lot of them wouldn't have gotten raped or caught up in those situations to where they were vulnerable to where the enemy took advantage. Now, I'm not saying that can't happen. It doesn't happen. Even with us, these devils, they got military might. They got the force of the sword, you know. But like I said, with Edom, that's his blessing. If he didn't have his blessing and he tried to come from Jake, if he tried to come for Jake, he'll lose. Jake ransacked the hell out of Esau to take him down. So that's why they keep their military might, of course, and it's biblical. Without that, they're pretty much nobody, you know, and they know that. They said a day without Mexican. Why don't you make a movie called A Day Without Guns, A Day Without Military Might? So what does the serpent do? Let me see. Serpent, King James Version. King James Version.net. And this is more of a physical example, but I want to read it. James 3:7, it says, for every kind of beast and of birds and of serpents and of things in the sea is tamed. You could tame a lion. You could tame a serpent. You could tame a bird. you know, and they're all harmful to mankind and it could be on a major level. But what is it? Say, and have been tamed of mankind. Verse 8, let me get in the scriptures. But what can't be tamed is tamed. Let me see, get ahead of myself. But James 3, but remember that things can be tamed. Serpents, beasts, birds, you know. You know that you can see a lion and a bear, they you know what I'm saying? But the Esau's way, his method is training from a little kid. Because they said what they say, train up a child the way he should go, he should not depart from it. When they friends with what they say so-called friends with these lions and bears, they raise these from cubs. They fed them out of their hand. The cub, you know, when a lion is a cub, you know, you can feel the different strength from him, from a lion cub than a cat, a regular house cat, you know. But you know, you feed him from your hand and you grow him up under your wing. And when it gets to be a lion, he's gonna become your pet lion. And that's what Esau does. He wants Jake has become his pet, especially the black woman, because he feeds them the youth, and feeds them philosophy, saying like, look, this is what we're providing for you. This is how you eat and feed your family. This is how you keep your job. And this is when you're growing up and you see your children, you be like, yeah, growing up, he become a fine boy. He's in college. He graduated. He got a certificate. He got a degree. I'm proud of you, son. I'm proud of you, daughter. But then when the school system breaks down and they recall some things that's happening in the school system, then where's the education? Or where's the, you know, the the what do you call it, the benefits of what you learned in that school when it comes to it not even existing anymore. You can't apply with something that doesn't exist, or you can't apply yourself to something that doesn't exist. So it says, verse 3, it says, even so, well, let's start at 3. My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greatest condemnation. For in many things we offend all. If any man offend not in word, the same is a perfect man, and they also able to bridle the whole body. Behold, we put bits in the horses' mouths, that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole body. So it's like, you know, the horses can't do nothing. They fall. You know the the bridle. What is say? Bits in the horse's mouth that they may obey us. They can't talk, or they can't, make any sounds coming out of their mouth or their nose. You know, because there's different ways to express anger. You don't even have to open the mouth. You could, I hate this. They got that emoji where the smoke is coming out the nose. But that's a form of the same thing to tame your whole body and put your whole body in subjection, under the subjection of the most Yahweh, by Yahweh Shai, even when it comes to your brethren. It says, behold also the ships, and this is going to be this is one of the hardest things for women too. I'm about to read, behold also the ships, which though they be so great, are driven of fierce winds, yet are they turned about with a very small helm. And the same thing with a car. You have a big ass Yukon car, and then there's a steering wheel, that controls the whole body of the car, or even the engine, you know. But more so the steering, the direction of what that car is going, direction of where we're going with this. When we talk, what direction are we going? And like what it say that how can a man understand his own way unless the Most High direct his steps? If there's no direction, and there's usually no direction among our people, that's why nothing ends up happening positively or even constructively, because there's no direction. Like, where are we going with this? But like Apostle Kabar said, and the apostles always say, be a few words, more observing, more, how the brothers say, you have 2 ears for a reason, one mouth, more hearing than talking, you know. You want to have your words wholesome and edifying without saying so much. Because women that yap all day, and they don't even know what they'll just say, blurt anything out. Oh, fucking, I hope your daddy died. You be like, what the fuck? I gotta leave this bitch. And you might get so angry, you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that she have you jump out of your body skin and all that. That's why you shouldn't be listening. Shouldn't be. It's toxic. Women are toxic these days. Most women, I'm saying. Most women are fucking toxic. It says, and the tongue is. It says, even so, or it said, a very small him, whithersoever the governor listed. You know. And the same thing like a president. You got America, 300 million people plus, what have you, but you got one president directing, so to speak. We know it's greater powers behind it. But I'm just saying, they listen to this one president, they vote for this one president. You know. So when you go out and present yourself anywhere, when you go out and you're in a situation to where you're in school, you're in a situation where you work at a job, you're in a certain place, just realize that you're that one helm, that one, uh, you know, you're the one put in the spotlight to keep your whole body in subjection when it comes to wisdom, you know. Another thing, what I'm saying, I'm just saying, even so, the tongue is a little member, see, and boasts great things. In a situation, all the women, even with a woman, all she has to do is say, "This nigga looking at me like crazy and all that, and looking at like he want to grape me or something, or he want to." And then the man's like, "Oh, let me get at the motherfucker. Let me go. Where is he?" And he don't even know the matter. It says, examine a matter before you act on it, so to speak. Let me get that scripture. Examine the matter first before you act. King James Version. Sirach 11:7, Apocrypha. Blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Even in a situation, when many situations where a woman lied on you and said she don't know what you're talking about, and she's the one that told you that she didn't have a man. And then the man comes home, he's like, no, I told him I had a man. He came in here. But if the man is like a stupid, simple man, he gonna be like, you know, then what the fuck? Get out of here! I'll kill you. And he's like, nah, that don't sound right, man. Because this man ain't even looking like he's just chilling and shit. And you know, you be, I know you be acting funny sometimes and shit. You know what I'm saying? So what the fuck is really going on? Because then a man say, well, she told me he didn't have a man. And you got to examine his spirit like, yeah, yeah, man, you can go get up out of here, man. I don't talk to this bitch. You know what I'm saying? I've been in scenarios before that I was on that side where her man came home when she told me she wasn't dealing with nobody. He's like, man, let me talk to her right quick. You can have her after that. I'm like, I don't want this bitch. After he said that, I mean, after I knew the situation, I was like, this bitch could have got me killed. So you got to be wise, but blame not before thou hast examined the truth. Even me and Bond talked about it before. Like, you got to examine the brother. A lot of brothers gonna be lied on, man. And even like, be real about it, even by another person that may have seemed like a brother, that may seem like a brother. You know, that's why you ain't supposed to. Even with these women, you ain't supposed to tell them everything, man. And Jay could tell them some shit that some stupid shit he did. Like, come on, you supposed to be the wise man. You supposed to. Okay, they lie all day. And they ain't lying. It's just that you don't want to tell her everything. I don't have to, I'm not obligated to tell these women everything, man. I ain't obligated to tell them shit. If they ask me where I work, hey, you know, you shouldn't know. I don't want you to know that right now. You got something to hide? Well, quit fucking with me then. So you might tell them you work at some of your old job and you ain't there no more. You be like, I thought you worked at that. And yeah, but it's whatever. Why you the hell are you in my business? It says understand first and then rebuke, man. So dealing with your brothers, because it's open rebuke is better than secret love. And it said it's better, but it's secret love. It ain't no like no weird ass shit, but you know sometimes the brother tell you something you don't have to tell all every brothers and shit. You be like, man, crazy shit you went through, man. Yeah, you ain't supposed to go around. Yeah, that nigga was in jail and that nigga slapped his bitch one time and almost raped her and shit. Like, and have brothers thinking like this is a bad dude. That's his past and shit. The fuck, man. Most High said he forgave us for our past sins, man. Understand first and then rebuke. So how do you understand with wisdom? It says, get all thy getting, and all thy getting, King James Version. Proverbs 4 and 7, it says, wisdom is the principal thing, and wisdom come from princes. We're gonna be the top wise men once again when this devil go down, because his wisdom is intervening with the wisdom, with our wisdom, so to speak, on this physical level. Even the devil, even the witchcraft and the trickery that he's doing, you know, with AI and everything else, with technology, Project Bluebeam, these fucking games, these what do you call it? This gameplay stage, philosophical Truman Show world that he's built It says, therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So yeah, you got to understand first. You know, wiser than a serpent. What's the ways of a serpent? What are the ways of a serpent? Serpents will access a situation to identify places of shelter so they can settle into a new environment. Yeah, sometimes that's a camp. Sometimes that's truth overall. Like, man, this seems nice. This seems cool. This is somewhere I can settle in, and yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, I think I belong here. You know, and then you get into yourself so much, you start realizing there's other brothers too, and they got spirits too, and they came from all kind of backgrounds too, and you got to understand their backgrounds, understand their spirit. I'm not saying that it ain't no, you know, wickedness among our people, you know, spies and agents in the camp. I'm just saying, you know, uh, you're gonna have to at least learn from that. Because let's say it is, and then they leave, and then they no longer around or whatever. You had supposed to learn and observe, like, damn, that's why that brother's doing it. That's why he didn't come to camp that much. That's why he was parking over somewhere else. That's why, and then you start, you know, if you start seeing those same patterns, you like, yeah, we gotta have counsel to see what this matter is. If the brother's sincere, nah, man, I just, you know what I'm saying, my bad, you know, and then you know, keep rolling, man. Can't make things too difficult, man, too complex. Like GMS is simple. Like, you know, if you ain't with this, get the hell out of here. You don't like order, get the hell out of here. You don't believe that the MOTB is the C hip, get the fuck out of here. Man. You have a problem with Cornelius being an Israelite, get the hell out of here. You don't have people like when people you don't like even as a grown man, more so like as a grown man, you don't have to go to school if you don't want to. I'm just saying on a worldly example, you don't have to go to church if you don't want to. You don't have to listen to nobody. You can be a bum, shit on yourself every day, go outside in a cardboard box, and nobody will give a fuck about you, and they'll let you do that shit for as long as you are alive till you die, and they won't have nothing to say about it unless it starts to intervene with their own personal life. But if it's a thing where a man goes down the street to his work job and there's a bum on the corner asking him for money every time he walk down that street and he's on drugs, he ain't gonna go down that street. Man. You know, like I gotta go walk on this side of the street. Well, shit. Or if you don't like your job, you just be like, well, I'm getting to get another job because these motherfuckers, some a spirit is rubbing me the wrong way. I'm getting out of here. It says they find hiding places to protect themselves from attack. They are also observed, and that's hiding behind another brother, hiding behind lies and shit, you know. And we're not perfect, but if you're sincere, man. Brothers should see that, and you could be a fuck up, and you could be like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, hey man, I'm trying to get it together. I'm still, you know. And like at least that brother trying to get it together, shit, you know. Some Other motherfuckers be like, yeah, fuck yeah, I gotta go camp every day. I gotta do video every day. Well, get the fuck out of here, man. You don't have to do shit. You can go out and be a rapper and go. Well, not now. You know, you can, if that Diddy's locked away, but all these others rappers and they're still out there doing some shit. You hook up with them. I'm saying if you it says if they settle into a new environment, you want a new environment. Hey, seems like a lot of these places that you see on YouTube and TikTok is a real cool environment for worldly people, man. Church may be a cool environment for worldly people. They don't rebuke in church. You got some, you know, some boxing there. It's probably flawed and beat up, but you can still find a couple of pretty women in church. Might a hella demons. They also observe whether to find the easiest prey, you know, and that prey could be like leeching off a brother. That ain't good. You want to have your own bread. You don't have to even make much. I mean, you with a brother and you pay out the rent, pay your rent. You hate your job, you still got to go there, though you hate it, so you can have money to pay your rent and bills. You got to keep your phone on because brothers might try to call you. You got grown ass men leeching off people or just still living with women being bums and shit. I'm pretty sure half of the time, even going back to the '90s, if Jake took care of his business and was paid his rent, I was in a situation. I didn't know how to do that shit, man. I mean, I thought it was the thing to do. Like, it was this female, she's cool, man. And you have a little job, but you didn't know her thoughts was like, damn, I need a nigga with a lot of money because I don't want to have to worry. I don't want to have to even struggle and all that. And then now I learned, like, yeah, these women want the bag. They want, you know, niggas like they say 6 figures. They want to go out to the most expensive restaurants. They want something better than Cheesecake Factory. You know, they want to be wine and dine on top of the hills and all that. And you be like, all right, I get it. Just let me stack my money, take care of my business, make sure my rent is paid, get a little car, you know, go to camp, do my videos. Fuck that. Fuck that other shit, that worldly shit. Fuck these women that want the bag. Fuck these women that want more in America, especially than they deserve. Because really, they don't know what America is. They don't know where they are half of the time when they're in America. Like we said, this is Disneyland to them. It's just a big ass mall to them. And they shop for shoes and change apparel, just like it says in Isaiah 3 and 16, no doubt. They want pretty boys. They want thugs. They want tattoo. They got their own. They have their choices and shit. Fat man in the wintertime, gym man cut up in the summertime. They want to be what they call it, a whole face. Yeah, that was doing the freakniks in summertime and all that. Now they want to get married in the wintertime because anyway, when all of these assessments are made and the facts are assimilated, the serpent is ready to act, you know? And that's what America has done. Assess a situation, identify places of shelter so they can settle into a new environment, which is a new world order. They find hiding place to protect themselves from attack, which is, you know, dealing with their enemies and dealing with these other nations and keeping their military, uh, you know, military sources on deck, you know, hide behind other leaders of other nations. They also observe where to find the easiest prey, and they use Jake, you know, for advertisement, for sales, for politics. You know, every time the politics come around, presidents come around as a black face in the president office, as you know, a secretary of state, or you know, some part of their cabinet. You know, even with Kamala Harris, even though she's probably more like a heathen, uh, Condoleezza Rice, you know, first lady when Obama was in there, which was, but um, and they use ghettos and projects as a form of, as a way to um, address help, a way to make people think like, yeah, we care about poor people. No, there's have to be reforms, and there has to be, you know, different policies that and stipulations that concern helping the poor. But we got programs for them. We got welfare system and all that. We got charity, you know, cases and all that. You know, so it makes people think like, yeah, at least they're helping people out. Programs, school programs, you know, student loans, financial aid, grants. What is that? What is that? Get a Pell Grant or something. Oh, but they are prey. Because what it say, Michael? This is not our right. This is not our rest. The prey part departed not. I mean, if you seen Trump, he was in Fresh Prince. He was in Bobby Brown's video. He was in another black TV show. He appeared, you know, cameo, and you know, he made that statement. I love black people. Uh, you know, they even with I think you know platforms like uh, Breakfast Club. You know, I think they've had him on the show. Shannon Sharp, he might have had. I'm not sure, but you know, they make sure they connect with, you know, and then you got, I'm ranting though, but you know, you got Chinese, East Indians, Africans here, and they don't really make a public, no public appearances. They I don't know, you know, they in the pockets of America, and you know, but so they have no issues, you know, have no issues that it could regard something that needs to be publicized to where it's an emergency to take care of. It's only black people in America, so-called black people. So that's the relationship that America has, you know, that's the serpent and Eve still having that conversation. They also observe, and what do they attack? What is the target? The people that have woken up to that, the serpent's uh, philosophies, his trickery, his deceit. Till they find hiding place to protect themselves from attack, they also observe, but to find the easiest prey. When all of these assessments are made and the facts are assimilated, the serpent is ready to act. And that's what it is. Serpent is ready to act with his new world order. He know the levels of who Jake, where Jake is, who Jake is, how Jake will react in these situations. He's already staged that all through history, even going back to Civil Rights Movement, even before that, even learning himself, learning from the histories of us being captive in uh, other kingdoms like Babylon, you know, Assyrian Empire. Persian Media, Greeks, Romans. He knows those were our people, man. And what was pretty much in every um, kingdom, there was those that prophesied, those that rebelled. Moses, Daniel, David. Uh, every time the really oppression really came, our people rose up and rebelled. And so now they got drones. Now they got military might drones, soldiers, militias, sleeper cells, and you know, uh, ground troops, cyborgs, robots. You know, that old serpent, the devil, King James version. Go ahead. 12:9. So that women that fled from the dragon, which is Israel, they're up. The dragon is upon us now. Revelations 12:9. And that great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which is adversary, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out of the earth, and his angels cast out with him. I heard a loud voice. So when you neither was there a place found anymore in heaven. So when you go back into the scriptures, there was such thing as when you go to, let's go to 13. It says, and I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. It goes into NATO EU, and upon his horns 10 crowns, upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And what did the Most High say? He's going to take the crowns from these people, these kingdoms, and cast down the thrones, you know. So, and the beast which I saw was likened to a leopard. And back in the Greek Empire, like in the days of Alexander the Greek, you know, which, this is a kind of like and then you have the Greco-Roman Empire, and this is kind of like a falling trail of that turning into the Roman Empire, into America, which is now Rome, you know. So this woman, Israel, tried to escape from the serpent. She actually, like, I don't, because it's a whole new thing, but I mean, not a whole thing, but it's a breakdown. But you know how Eve, she's the mother of all living, and you know Eve, she was deceived by the serpent. And what did it say that serpent, old that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. So that serpent kind of it grew and became more wise, even wiser than Daniel, to where it had this woman was fleeing at a time to where he had he became wise enough to trap her. Now there was those that fell that didn't have wisdom, that didn't have the Holy Spirit, that fell into the ways of the devil with Satan and all that, just like it is now. But if you read that the dragon went to go make war with the remnant of her seed, which keepeth the commandments. So now here we are in this modern day Rome, keeping commandments, and devil said that's where they are. That's why Christopher Columbus came over here. He knew we were over here. He was a part of that leading factor of the devil coming to get us. The devil been chasing us ever since the garden, wanting us ever since the garden. I mean, like, wanting to control us and be the gods of us. You know? So you had NATO and the EU, European Union, and his feet was like into a bear, you know, which is Russia, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, which is Great Britain, because America came out of Great Britain, And it says, and the dragon gave him his power and seat and his great authority, and because who's the two superpowers, Russia and America? America's modern day Rome, and they have a, I don't want to say love and hate relationship, but they have a congressional understanding of working together in certain matters, even though, they're at odds. And the Most High is kind of having them lingered in balance of that, because it's gonna come about, But they all Edomites anyway, So you know how Edom do. He's working together, and he does some, to where he's divided, and he be like, well, for the sake of keeping these Negroes under, but Most High is stirring up the spirit of the Medes, which they don't really care no more. That's why Putin brought that up about, like, hey, look at the old ancient icons, and they're all black men. Meanwhile, it's kind of the racism is kind of brewing over here in America. It says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And when they came back in power, and during the Renaissance, because we had, like it says in the scripture, we had the serpent devil was, bound, changed for 1,000 years, that he wouldn't deceive the world anymore. And then he would be loose for a little season. So now they came into the Renaissance, the rebirth, and that kind of explains that too, where they trying to have since they didn't get the birthright, being and with Esau and Jacob, them being Esau, they didn't get the birthright, so they're trying to rebirth it and and get it anyway through this new world order, through this digital concept digital strategy, and they're gonna base it, the control device, the control, just like I read that little helm, that little member controlling the whole body. They want to make the C hip control their whole blue, blueprint plan of the new world order. Everything's going to be operated by the C hip. They got a C hip in your phone. They got a C hip in your car. They got a C hip in all these machines. How do you think these machines are operating? You think these cyborgs? You think it's double A batteries in these motherfuckers? Duracells and energizing bunny batteries in these it's a C hip in these cyborgs, or even these robots that they're tending to make more human, so-called more human. So everything, your computer, your flat screen, operated by a C hip. Your watch, you know. It says, and then you had the Treaty of Rome exercise signed in 1857. Treaty of Rome, also known as the EEC Treaty, was signed March 25th, 1957. It's like I said, 1957, and established European Economic Community, the European Atomic Energy Community. The treaty was signed by Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, and Netherlands. It's part of the 10 horns we're talking about in Revelation 13. Then it says the goals of the Treaty of Rome: create a common market. This is similarities to what America is doing, a common market. Transform trade and production conditions. Promote economic growth through trade. America has a trading system. They have an import-export system, and they have, somewhat every now and then trade wars. They putting Trump right now is putting sanctions on tariffs on Canada, uh, China, and what's that other? Damn, it's slipping my mind. But encourage free competition between companies. That's what's always been going on. That's why you got like 3 fast food places on one block. And they all kind of coexist. These company leaders, company owners, they all kind of know each other, do business with each other. That's why these companies are thriving now. Sometimes you have the bigger company eat the little company up, but you know, um, if that's not an independent company, but it failed in market, well, that owner is going to sell their property and is going to open up something else with uh, financial aid, or shares with other companies, you know, and to where they can even finance a bigger product, you know, or go into business with that another company that has productive business, and then be a company shared into a person that's had become a member of that growing company that have once when that person had once failed in his own independent business. I mean, like I'm saying, they get help. Hopefully that makes sense. Abolish quotas and customs duties. Contribute to the political unification of Europe. Does the Treaty of Rome have anything to do with America? The Treaty of Rome was an important step in building on the foundation that the United States helped create after World War II. The Treaty of Rome is an international agreement that established the European Economic Community and the European Atomic Energy Community. The United States was not a party to the Treaty of Rome, but it did participate in the negotiation that led to the creation of the European Union. Because at the end of the day, they're all Edomites, you know? And that's what it says in the Bible. We know these things to be true. So the Roman Empire was healed. The rebirth, the Renaissance, which was in 1350s into the 1400s. And verse 4, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. Worship the beast, and who is like the beast who is able to make war with them, So NATO is the military part of the beast, and EU is the economic. So NATO is Northern Atlantic Treaty Organization. And it was given to him in mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given to him, continued in 42 months. So, and that's about as long as we've been over here, where they're exercising this Roman spirit all over again in America. We've been over here in America shy of 400 years, 350, 400 years. And they have blasphemy against the Most High, his word and his prophets. And even speaking great things. And I think the greatest blasphemy and the greatest things of blasphemy they will speak, swelling words they're going to speak, is through Trump, which is, we believe, Nero, the reincarnation that was part of the 12 feathers, was part of the, so to speak, Julian Claudius dynasty. And if you know about that history, those things that happened in history, even going back, from the Greek into the Roman into, you'll see a bridge, great similarity between America and that era of Rome, even some things of Greek Empire, because a lot of that was us. We are called Greeks. We lived as Greeks. We are named Greeks. But we were influenced by Greek customs. So those are the same people on the high level of that, on the rulership level of that, into the Roman Empire, into America, which is now they're exercising to try to go ahead and complete Rome. And I believe they hate the Yahweh Shai so much they would even, try to exercise Rome again, just for the sake of mocking the Son of God, you know, just for the sake of, yeah, we completed, you know, now that the Son of God had been crucified back then, you know, we have more of a freedom, so to speak, they think, to exercise it and actually complete it. Because Yahweh Shai was a problem back then for the Roman. You know, he, Yahweh Shai himself, been crucified, he said, now it is finished. You know, now, you know, everything is about to be uh, manifest according to prophecy, even to this very day. And that's what's going on right now. You know, Revelations 12 and 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe, destruction to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. You know, so now they're like, okay, we're gonna have to hurry up, complete this. And they know the prophecy about Yahweh Shai returning. They know the prophecy of the angels. They know the prophecy of the Most High as his eye on the sinful kingdom. They know that they have used this book against the children of Israel in blood and stripes, and even boast and make a mockery of the very, you know, children of God, the very Son of God, because we came into his image. You know, the conduct and character of our spirit is from Yahweh Shai. So, you know, now it's like a hurry up plan, like we, you know, um, and they know, like apostles and elders been saying, every kingdom had ruled 250 years, you know, and you know, now it's time for this kingdom to fall. You know, so uh, they really speculate more. They stay up more. They sleep less. They go over things more. The experimentation is not so much experimentation no more in the sense that they wait for 10 or 20 years to come out with it. That's why you got products coming out every 6 months, new products. They experiment. Their experimentation is just public now. Like, yeah, we just throw it out there. They tell you that they got a new disease coming up. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be a new disease, like, and it's gonna, like, they ain't, like, come on, man. You can't predict when diseases happen. You know, it seems that Ebola thing that seems to be coming over here from China, and it seems to be on its way to America. Like, how can a fucking disease, like, you monitoring the disease and it's on its way? Come on. But pretty soon, who knows? Trump might even say, hey, y'all don't start doing things right, we're gonna put plagues on your ass. I'm, I'm just speaking as a man on that, but you know, Most High did say plagues were gonna come into Egypt. You know, he did say that this was spiritual Egypt and Sodom, and it's gonna be like manna. You know, things that's going on, and to where it's gonna be destroyed like it was, like as the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. It said even this generation is gonna be like in the days of Noah, eating and drinking. You know, it mentions that too in the Apocrypha, how the elites live. So we got to be wiser than the serpent. Like, man, you know, school thing don't make no sense. Education, the churches don't make any sense. the C hip doesn't make any sense, for what they want to use it for. I mean, they're gonna have, they have already been advertising benefits of the C hip. They had this stem cell research that came out, that dealt with Neuralink and uh, you know matters to where they can solve this genetic mutation, this functional mutation, by what do you call it? Uh, by by dang, I can't think of the word. Going into Neuralink. Let me look up that definition. Neuralink definition.
Here's the definition of
Neuralink definition. Neuralink is a brain-computer interface company that develops implantable chips that allow people to control devices with their thoughts. The company's goal is to restore autonomy to people with, see, here it goes. And that's why in the videos, they flag down videos, they ban whatever, if they say medical misinformation, because this is what they're operating. This is what they're building. It says the company's goal is to restore autonomy to people with medical needs and unlock human potential. Medical needs. In these days, according to what's going on in America, the bitterness of America, everybody needs medical attention, whether it's needing mental stability, mental rehabilitation, whatever you call it. That's a medical need. The drug, the pills, the medical needs, sickness that from these diseases, you need medical attention. So, like the Elysium movie, and this is all the devil's plan, because it says we're not ignorant of his devices. What do you think this is? Who you think the devil is, man? Like, it's not no mythical creature. This is a real life story. This is a real, these are real things that's manifesting, and that's already have been manifesting. It said the iniquity of has already worked. Let me see. Neuralink chip is surgically implanted in the skull. The chip has thin, flexible threads with 1,024 electrodes that record brain activity. The chip sends the brain activity to the device like a smartphone using Bluetooth. The device can be controlled by the user's thoughts. The chip could help people with paralysis communicate by allowing them to control devices remotely. It could also help treat central nervous system injuries such as strokes, spinal cord injury. Let's go to stem cell research. Spinal cord injuries and traumatic brain injuries. The chip could potentially cure blindness, mental illness, just mentioned it, and neurological conditions like Alzheimer's. We call it Alzheimer's, dementia. So you know what? By this, they're trying to show off like they're better than God. They like the so to speak, so-called human flaw, even going back to Adam when he fell. And it tells you in the scriptures, creature is subject to vanity. They're trying to make it where they're going to try to create a whole different spectrum of a whole different reality and a truth of what the Bible mirrored, to where they will make a perfect Adam with these robots. They will make humans capable of being perfect. But they model themselves after the Most High. Because what did the Most High say? Be ye perfect. It says He's gonna make us perfect. He's gonna put His laws in our inward parts. Because all through the dynamics of and the levels of dynamics, they're trying to figure out the thing in between. You know how you turn on a light, you turn it on and off. They're trying to figure out things between the on and off light bulb. The on and off, even though they could turn something on and off, they can create something to turn it off. They want to see what's in between the on and off, because that would be meaning that they created God, because they take the same substances, they take the same material that the Most High had already made and use it, but they want to use something other than so-called what the Most High made. So they say, well, yeah, Most High made humans, and then we get robots, particles of robots from plastics and metallic elements and all that. But we want to be the ones that put soul into the robot. We want to be the ones that have the power to control the brain to where it could do a perfect job without flaw. Because they think Adam was a flaw. And it was really the Most High showing two sides of his spectrum according to what he wanted to show us. But they can't tap into the Most High. So, like I said, you got celestial beings, you got terrestrial beings. But within that, and they're living in the terrestrial is a whole learning system, that you learn from, how can I say it? Like it's a learning system, Like apostles say, we're going to become, Most High willing, extraterrestrial. But the spirit is always willing. It says that in scripture, the spirit is ready. The flesh is weak. But the Jake don't use his spirit. He doesn't have the spirit of the Most High completely yet. Shalom. Shalom to brothers and sisters on the coming board. So they're trying to, play God, like it says in the scriptures. So all that serpent in the garden was teaching Eve to believe in philosophies to where it affected all Israel, because it says in the Apocrypha, since you fell, Adam, we've all fallen. But the Most High set up angelics in the earth, prophets, if you will, to speak his word and say, no, wait upon him, and our change is going to come through him, not robots, not seed help, not technology, not military might, because the technology and the military war drones, whether it be drones, military weapons, they are the left-hand side of spiritual power. They're image, so to speak, a carnal example of what spiritual powers could look like to a carnal man. But things done in the spirit and of the spirit is way more advanced than man could ever imagine. That they can't figure it out. That's why Most High got them believing that they can actually win a war against his son and angels. Because their exercising of their carnal warfare, having a carnal mind, has been to them success, concept of success, concept of the ability to actually be unconquerable and undefeatable in the flesh through robotics, through technology, through see him through claiming dominance, dominance over man. And that's their goal. It wasn't never church, it wasn't never it wasn't never being concerned about, you know, having peace upon the earth and, just making sure we take care of the plantate, the trees and the grass and the forest and the housing and people and the water and the sky. They don't care about all that shit. They don't care about all that shit. They just, hey, fuck all that shit. Let's try to do this control shit with the sea here and see if we could, bring about a new world order how we see fit to where we're controlling the matter. We're controlling mankind through our own devices and operation. And what it say in the scriptures, you have been caught up wrongfully in what you have imagined against me. Wrongfully imagined against me, King James Version. Job 21. Job 21:27. Behold, I know your thoughts and devices which you wrongfully imagine against me. Most High made man upright, but he sought out many inventions. Even to think that he could be God himself and to be more than what God is and his son. And we tell you all the time there's an order, even in the heavens. So Most High gave us knowledge, wisdom, understanding to know what these things are, what has happened in the past, that what has happened now, what this devil is still after us. All the way from the garden, he followed us. This is the main core battleground when it comes to good and evil. The representation of, what you could present as a righteous man or a wicked man right here in America. That's why these countries are looking far off and like, yeah, what's going on in America? I heard y'all was doing this over there. Yeah, it ain't us. But they knowing about the prophets now. So they were like, well, who are these guys? Putin knows about the prophets. Bill Gates, Elon Musk knows about the prophets. Yeah, they all know. So they were like, well, yeah, Putin, whoever, that makes sense. Prophets are making sense. So America got to try to shut the prophets down. Like, yeah, let's still focus on this new world order. Remember the agreement we had? Like, we could try to figure, we can make this, this is the greatest invention in the world, and it's going to happen for all. It's going to be great for all mankind. It says the devil deceived the whole world. But the Most High said, that's why the Most High said he's going to stir up the spirit of the Medes. And that man, and he said he put in man's mind, paraphrasing, what to do so the man could be drawn from his purpose, so he could fulfill his purpose. Man be drawn away from his own purpose, and his pride will be shut down. Because they kind of like looking at this plan like, yeah, I think that it sounds good, sounds nice. It sounds impossible, but it sounds, and they want to, but they like, nah. They keeping a distance, and they watching the moralism of this place corrupted. And all in the Eastern world knows about moral codes more than America does. Best believe. So man shall be drawn from his purpose, King James Version. Says Job, John, so man shall hide his pride, King James Version. Yeah, yeah. Job 33 and 16. Then he opened up the ears of men and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose. So there ain't no coming together with these Edomites. Because they would be like, oh man, we can rule the world. But they divided, Most High divided them from and draw them on that from their own purpose, man. And hide pride from man, you know. So even if they making robots and they making the sea hip and they want to do all this, there's bombs waiting. There's bombs being created. Like I said, he created the Smith, the blow. There's so what is that for? We're all on one accord and we're all getting along, and this is a whole new world order. I'm talking about a world order. Then everybody should disarm themselves. They had a disarmament agreement uh, back then, and you know what? Nobody really followed that shit because Most High drew them from their purpose. It was some people that was lying about like, yeah, we just using uranium for this. We're not using it for war. We're not using it to make weapons and shit. But they are, and they have. So if everything was going good with Edomites, everybody would put down their weapons, or at least you know come together on same terms and not be threatening to one another. And that's the ways of a wicked ass brother too. I mean, Esau is the wicked brother, and we have wicked men among Israel that do the same thing. You know, they can't come together. And even though they try, they can't because Most High draws them from their purpose. Because like even within some camps, they want a whole Israel coming together, and that's failed because Most High don't want that. You know, because some men are evil still within the body. And unless we take up on immortality, we're going to easily be corrupted again. So some has to happen soon. Like it says, Most High showing the time for the elect's sake, like we all, and no man be saved, no flesh be saved. Because the mind that has grown up in this fabric of not only this American system, but the fabric of the devil's cloth, really, unless the Most High changed that, that women, there's no hope. That's why these people don't understand these parents. You can talk to a child every day and he may still grow up, in this world today, may still grow up to to do wicked things because this is a wicked world. You gotta move the corruption all together. You gotta take care of they even gotta take care of the top, you know, the where they cut the source of the problem. So you can be like, yeah, I'll teach you all this, son, and like go to school and all that, and then he get around his friends, and then he start gang banging, selling drugs and all that, because that's what's out there. And really, they don't have no wisdom to teach them right anyway, because they don't teach them by the ways of the scripture. They teach them by according to this American system, which, like I said, going back, they don't really truly teach you how to have any morals. You know, they don't have a rebuke system. You go to an army, yeah, they do certain things in the army. You gotta listen to your sergeant, commander, whatever. But he ain't telling you nothing that'll help your soul and your spirit overall. Because when you do face these things that your spirit can easily be tampered and tamed with, then you're gonna not be ready for that, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, what is this like?" You know. But and so, you know, like we said, it's a process, it's a training process, and you know, that's what Most High is preparing us for. Most High will, and uh, and that's what He gives us, wisdom. It says, "Knowledge and wisdom shall be distributed at thy time." Most High didn't say that for nothing, you know. So you know, pray for all the brothers, sincere brothers. Pray for the apostles, the elders. Pray for the ministry, men are sincere, extended hopeful elect, and to remove parasites out of the body of the ministry. So, because we need healing too, you know, and if we, go back into those ways, we're not, we're not going to get no spiritual power, man. You know, Jacob's trouble will be in the worst condition. That's my point, you know. And Jake, he could use witchcraft, and these women can use voodoo and shit, but that's a hindrance to your spirit of overall wholesome spirit, uh, wholesome body that you're supposed to have of Yahweh Yahushua. You know, it's not full power. Even in Haitian, they be doing things on the left hand side, messing with witchcraft and all that, but they're still in poverty. You know, you got some jakes that run game in the hoods and all that, but that's as low, that's as high as they'll get. They ain't in I mean, they're not the Wolf of Wall Street. They're not in no high rise places and shit. Like on some heat, Scarface stuff. They in these little ass neighborhoods and shit. Because I would think if you had game like that and enough of it, then you'll be in some high places. So their wisdom is falls short. Wisdom is the world's foolishness. If you're not getting it from the scriptures, great men of the scriptures, prophets, holy men of sincerity of the Most High, then you're not getting true wisdom. You're not getting wholesome wisdom, you know, and that wisdom is gonna fall short when it comes. Knowledge, wisdom shall be stupid times. Yeah, it's that way now. There's a lot of people that sold their soul to the devil and have taken, you know, devices. Even some jakes that already got the MOTB because they think it's like a really a good beneficial product, for their lifestyle that they want to live. Whether they rappers, NBA players, whether they just, you know, want to be one of the biggest business uh, black business owners in the world, you know. So gotta be careful, man. The serpent is out to come and get that woman again, but the Most High would it say that he gonna lift up a standard this time, and that woman is a representation of the elect this side. Those five virgins, the one that the woman that the woman that the Most High say you're married into me. He's talking about the elect, you know. So that serpent is still out there as a lion, waiting for that have that woman as a prey again to control her, keep her under. Once that woman is released back to her power, she has all power. It says that princess of power. And that's why you think they have so many stage things in this world for Jake to go into. If he's in the hood, they got NBA, they got rapping, they got he's at the front gates of that. If they go into being a construction uh, person on their own business, they got to go to him for that. He's on top of all that. If they in the church, the churches are narrated by him. 501c3 charter. If he want to live off the grid, then he's gonna be walked up on, you know, talking about it's they're gonna make it hard for him, and also they're gonna be like, well, what are you doing out here in forest wilderness, off the grid? Where you live? You don't work. Like, how you making your money? You know. So this is the fucking matrix, man, and the only way out that they never wanted us to know is Yahweh by Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakadah, because that's the only thing that is opposite of this world, and everything else is is coexisting with this world. And the Most High said, friendship the world, enmity with him. So we know his name ain't Jesus. We know his name ain't God, Yahweh, whatever, because nobody's coming against Yahweh. Nobody's coming against Jesus. And back then in the Roman Empire, everybody hated Yahweh Shai said the world hated him. So it would happen again if Yahweh Shai was here. He's here in spirit and word. And they hate this word. They're trying to take it off YouTube and TikTok or whatever. They're trying to reinvent it. They're trying to make a Queen James Bible, whatever they're trying to do. They're trying to remake movies and shit that don't have nothing to do with how the story actually went according to the Bible. They're trying to say they wrote the Bible. But they're going to get it for all that. Judgment is coming. Once you fucked up and once you done, you don't care. You'll light a cigarette just like Nero did. And they said he fiddled before Rome, uh, when Rome was burning. That's the spirit of Trump. He'll just smoke a cigarette and drink some champagne, kick his feet up and say, fuck all these motherfuckers. Get these motherfuckers out of here. Immigration, change the laws, get the men off the streets, do this, just get that shit done. But the woman they're concerned about is the woman that's returned back to the Most High. That's the land. That's that woman that flee from the serpent. That's the one woman that is now not like Eve. Eve is still out there listening to the devil in an artificial world, so to speak. The real woman, the elect, is fleeing from the serpent, sin, fleeing from sin from the face of the serpent. And now the serpent is out there. And it takes place, the showdown takes place in America. Jacob's trouble. And then it's going to be an ultimate showdown when we come down, Most High willing, having those immortal bodies to get those people over there to put them in chains. Because we're going to be, Most High willing, extraterrestrial beings. They're going to actually see us in the flesh with immortal power. I know it seems far-fetched, but if you ever watched movies growing up as a kid, and you saw that screen, you always wanted to be that. Just like the so-called white man dream, he sees it. He make the movies. He gets to make the movies himself. You see Superman. You believed all that time what was on that screen. How you could actually one day maybe fly, and you didn't think about it. But now they beat your spirit down, so you be like, nah, it's impossible for black men. Because we came from crackheads. camps. Yes, we'll let them but not according to the Bible. And your thoughts are not the Most High's thoughts. That's what it says in Scripture. So this is a battle. We're at war for the sake of for the condition of our soul, the value of our manhood, and women too, value of womanhood, value of family, value of serving our power, value of brotherhood. All that is on the lines of front grounds, lines of war. We'll see how it turns out. Because if you're not righteous, you're definitely going to be destroyed. Anyway, hopefully that was edifying. Yeah, to the next video. I'm glad I got to go live, man. You know, it's like if any slip of the tongue, you know what I'm saying? We get better, you know. But you know, much love to the brothers out there, sincere. I can, you know, starting with the apostle that rule well, apostle Elder, sincere brothers and few sisters, you know, because you don't know what's coming. We know it's coming. We know the fashion and weapons of the devil and our ignorant devices. But we know he's highly deceptive and highly intelligent in his ways that he have been known to operate and even have grown to exercise the better operation, you know, especially dealing with this high beastly technology. But giving all praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Kakadash, Ka'allah Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Kakadash. Rakta Yahweh, Rakta Yahushai, double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops, great millstone. My salutations to the brothers, teach the word for the hope of election. We the elect, most high will. Said he shortened time for the elect sake. We're in the time of the elect. The elect work is being done to the extended hope for elect family. Shalom, blessings. Try spirit to be turned back to the most high. Shalom.